How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Good Bit Podcast. We are here today for another episode. We are back in the studio for the first time in a little while with Ian Grieve this week, and he's already trying to embarrass me by putting my YouTube videos up on the big screen.
So how many episodes have you done now?
Right, well, if you'll see the top left there, that was episode 150.
Yeah.
So I like the way they look, but these videos below were from my previous YouTube career.
This one here.
And this series here that you can see here was, I was going to listen to every single number one song that has ever made it to number one in my life.
Yeah.
Sounded like a good idea.
That's a good idea.
But it's just, there was so many copyright problems, and I just...
because you can't play the...
You can do it in a way where if you play a certain amount and then you cut to another part of the song, but the issue is then the people who are watching it are big fans of the song, so then they get annoyed because you've altered the song in post-production.
Right.
Because you're cutting the song.
But why would they need to hear the song again in the podcast?
Surely they know what the song is. So we did that for a while. That was going quite good.
Yeah.
But it's now just all podcasts to do. So like the ones on the top row, they're all the kind of full episodes.
Because you could do that and then just create a playlist.
Yeah.
For people to, you know what I mean? If they're listening to it on something, then they just listen to the song. You don't need to include it in the podcast. That would be,
play the song in the background.
That would be absurd.
Yeah. Exactly. YouTube seems to be funner than everything else because that has more rules, it seems like.
Yeah.
But
you can talk about a song.
Yeah. There's another issue I had. You probably would be great at that, but I had a bit of imposter syndrome. Because I'm talking about the songs, I enjoyed it and the message of the lyrics and stuff. But
you're a punter.
No, I don't.
But so you feel you don't have imposter syndrome about talking about movies, though?
I feel like I know more about movies. I feel like I know more about them, so I can make it up a bit more. Whereas songs, I'm like, oh yeah, I like the way that they did that key change.
Yeah,
what does that mean?
Yeah,
so that was an issue. But it was a nice mix because the first one was Will Smith.
Yeah,
and then we went to the Verve,
Men in Black,
and you'll see later on we have Spice Girls and Aqua.
So it was Men in Black at number one when you were born?
The day I was born.
My
that
God,
made you feel
true. That
old,
really does. Yeah.
1997. Yeah.
I don't know if we should be in the same room together. Frankly, you're far
I don't
too
know.
young. The drugs don't work.
The drugs don't work. That kicked the Fresh Prince off number one.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we've got something about the way you look tonight. We've got Spice Up Your Life.
Right.
And it's funny because there's ones that you don't think are going to be that, they're going to have that much of a buzz. But see the Aqua ones, Barbie Girl.
Yeah.
And there was also a song called Dr. Jones.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
My God, still to this day people are commenting going, this is my favourite Aqua song. And I'm like, watching me talking about Aqua. I don't even know who Aqua are.
And that's bizarre. Perfect Day being the BBC charity. Only the BBC.
See, trying to find
could take a song about heroin.
Yeah, and make it a charity single.
Make it a charity single.
See, having to find the exact one to listen to because there's so many versions because it's the BBC and they've done remixes and stuff.
Of course, yeah, because everyone, and his dog was in it. Yeah.
But I mean, there was loads of stuff. There was Oasis. We could talk about that. What do you make of that?
Absolutely. I'm really excited by it because I'm a massive fan of it. I've seen them about, I don't know, my sister would know, about 3 times, I think, 3 or 4 times. They were at Tina Park one year, I think, and I've seen them at Barrowlands and in Glasgow, and I've seen them at ABC when it was still a thing.
Wow. Well, the Barrowlands one, I believe the whole concert's uploaded to YouTube.
Yes.
2001, does that sound about right?
Yeah, it does sound about right.
I saw it, I did some YouTubing of it the other day, and I was like, there's loads of full Oasis concerts on
I didn't see them, I have to admit, I didn't see them, in the 90s, at the height. I was too busy being a new dad and trying to be an actor. Yeah. But no, latterly, I think, I've saw a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And so, been there, done that. But it would be very exciting to see. Well, it's just the size of the venue. I actually think seeing them in Barrowlands, and that's perfect. That venue is perfect for a band like that.
Murrayfield and sit in the back row, but not able to see it's actually them.
And you're watching them on a screen anyway, so I'm not so sure about that. And it's just because it's just kudos to say you've seen them. for a lot of people. I mean, and I imagine a lot of people go and see them who really don't know very much about them.
Well,
I love the fact there was I don't know if this is true, but I was reading that people were signing up to get early bird tickets.
Pre-sale stuff, yeah.
And they were being asked a question about who the original drummer in Oasis was. And if they didn't know, they got sent to Google. And they were ousted.
That's really good.
And I think, I like that.
They keep posting on their Twitter being like, due to unforeseen demand for these tickets, we're still getting back to everybody. Those who didn't know the answer to the question were not even going to bother responding to you.
No. I love that. Yeah. That's very them. So that's good.
I can't imagine you're a big Taylor Swift fan.
I don't mind her. No, I'm not a fan, but I don't mind that she exists
because everybody's saying this is like
I've listened to her music, so I can say that.
I'm sure you've admired a couple of songs, but maybe not a big fan. But this is the middle-aged man's version of the Taylor Swift tour from a couple of months ago, where it's taken over the city. 3 days at Murrayfield it's going to be now, and they released the ticket prices as well. So if you want to stand, £151 exactly. Yeah. If you want to sit, your minimum is 70, which I actually thought was relatively reasonable for today's day and age, because you kind of get a
That's
ticket
not
for
too bad.
Less than that now. So
there was a couple of there was a couple of bands I wanted to maybe go and see this spring, sort of summer, and I didn't go. I love these bands, and I didn't go because the prices were just ridiculously high.
It's just the way it is now, isn't it? It's just ridiculous.
And it's just like, no.
And I told you I went to see the wrestling, and
you did.
At the Hydro, so not even like a big stadium, just the Hydro in Glasgow, and most amount of money I've ever spent on a ticket ever, just to go to the Hydro to see WWE. Yeah. By the way, so WWE are moving to Netflix in January, right? So they're going to be doing their weekly TV shows on Netflix.
Yeah.
And so that's January. In September, Netflix are releasing a mini-series on the founder of the company, Vince McMahon, who has had a hell of a life.
Okay.
And most recently, lots of cancel culture allegations have come out about him, just as they've entered this relationship with Netflix.
No better publicity.
And they're doing a mini-series that just was announced today is coming out in September. So they're going to do that in September. It's not going to make the company look particularly good, and then they're going to have this partnership starting in January, so that's going to be very interesting. Saw that before I came here today.
It's an inevitability about the scale of these organisations like Formula One and the Premier League in England and all that you think FIFA, you think
don't get started on UEFA.
It's inevitable. Sure, Olympic Committee. I mean, my God, the size and the money involved. It would be almost unthinkable for there not to be some form of corruption somewhere.
That's definitely
So I don't know. So you back at the wrestling again.
I'm just going to do it.
Yeah,
Iona told me
that's what to do.
The podcast is all about you. Just go and be
That's
you.
right.
So I'm going to
That's why I'm turning this podcast now. When you come and talk to me,
have
you seen any films?
No.
But how are you doing?
Well, I was going to say once, I've not seen you over the summer because we've both been busy. Did you see any? Did you go and see anything over the summer?
I did. Yeah, I did. I went a couple of times.
Oh, did you do anything fun over the summer? Did you go on holiday?
I didn't. What my wife and I did is how could you describe what we did? I mean, we must have been subconsciously sort of just reminiscing and hankering after the good old days of the lockdown.
Oh yes, so you stayed in and locked the doors.
Pretty much.
Nice.
I mean, it was difficult to get her to come out and shop. Just we need some provisions.
Yes.
Oh, dear me. Oh.
Well, she was busy painting.
She was painting, That's it. She's found her new things, and that's it.
Yeah.
Everything else doesn't matter now.
Yes.
So which is great. That's good for her. And so I've now got peace and quiet to sit in here as long as I like.
Yes. And look at all your DVDs.
And if I leave her alone long enough, and I've figured out how I might get a new guitar out of her.
All right. Yes.
I'll just start talking to her a lot. knocking next door and say, how you doing? Just come for a wee chat, and all that. Oh, do you want a new guitar or something?
And explain how much.
Shut them up and get them out of my way.
How much of a difference this guitar will make. You need this guitar.
It's difficult to explain the unknown to people who just don't understand, I find. So, but I think just to get rid of me, she'll be quite happy to do that.
It's like if you want a bigger TV, you have to explain to your partner how much better everything will look on this TV.
Yeah.
We have to have it. I mean, it's no question.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like a new TV. This is far too big. But the and I've decided over the summer, I've nearly got my recording done. I've decided in my 60th year I might become an electronic dance music DJ stroke performer.
I think it is time.
In the mould of Calvin Harris and Deadmau5 and Armin van Buuren and
David Guetta,
Above and Beyond, these kind of people, you know. So yeah, why are you laughing? Why is anyone laughing? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's very rude of them if you ask me. But we're going to see you at Transmit 2026.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
As a punter, though, not on the stage.
Well, don't speak too soon.
Oh, listen, I'll buy a ticket.
Know.
I can't think of anything worse than a festival, in my opinion. But if you're there, I'll go.
And this is a man who goes to wrestling.
Yes, but not.
But you can't imagine anything worse than a festival.
But not in a field when it's raining.
Well,
surrounded by people.
And if everyone has their way, nobody's going to be allowed to smoke.
Oh, exactly. I saw that as well.
Which I find kind of. Don't smoke myself,
no.
But I find that bizarre.
Just like I've told you to go and see some films.
Well, this is it. Well, I did. I went to see one today.
Today?
Yeah, just because I felt guilty and I thought I better go and see a film.
Okay. Thanks.
So I squeezed one in. I sent all my poor students away early and thought, right, I'll quickly nip to the pictures and then grab my tea and then I'll be ready to talk to them.
Yeah.
You know, I went to see a film and I knew nothing about it at all. I didn't even know it was a thing.
I'm really hoping you're going to say the one I hope you're going to say.
I literally drove to the cinema, parked, got my phone out,
walked in,
and went, right, what am I going to go and see? That looks a little laugh. Boom. And I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And it was called Kneecap.
Okay, no, it's not the one that I thought you were going to say, but I've not seen this one, so please tell me about it. I thought you were going to say Blink Twice.
Blink Twice, no. Because I knew you'd gone to see that, and I thought, well, I'll go and see something else, so at least we can cover a couple of films.
Exactly. Okay, cool.
So, well, do you want me to go first? Kneecap? I just saw it today. I didn't know it was based on a true story, and it is.
So what is it?
It's based on it's set in Belfast, and it's about, I think it's pre-pandemic, and it's about a couple of lads who are, I think, drug dealers in Belfast, and they speak the Irish language, which was banned and made illegal. But a lot of a sort of small band of people, a certain part of Belfast. You'll have to excuse my ignorance because the story was completely new to me.
Yeah.
I didn't even realise until it got to the end that it was a true story, and they were playing themselves.
Because they probably came up in the credits being like...
Yeah, well, there was all sorts of film about them going on, to different festivals and tours and things like that, very successfully.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And the basic argument of the play is that it was about, in the aftermath of the Troubles and the new Parliament and so on and so forth. But the Irish language had been made illegal, and people quite rightly were fighting for, in their own way, fighting for for it to be reinstated as and popularised and we've done that in Scotland. It's happened in Wales, but in Ireland it was sort of forbidden, and which I didn't know. And so they there's a teacher who speaks Irish, teaches Irish as well as music and other things in school. Comes across these guys. He's asked to come to the police station and be an Irish interpreter because one of the chaps that's been arrested will not speak English and claims he can't, and so they get him in. He's like, I'm not an interpreter, I can't do the accent. And they so eventually that's it, and he takes his book. The guy's got a yellow book, a notebook full of writing in Irish, and there's a sort of tabs in it as well, and so he creates a distraction. He takes it and he's looking at it, and it's looking like lyrics to him. So he goes, and it happens the teacher has his own little lock-up garage where he does DJing and creates music and stuff, and he's looking at these lyrics and going, and so eventually he returns it. They come together again, and he returns the book, and him and his mate, who are on the wrong side of the law, they get together eventually and form this hip hop band, but it's all done in the Irish language. And they're saying, well, nobody listens to Irish hip hop. Why are they going to listen to Irish hip hop in Irish? And he's going, well, we've got to make them want to, you know. And so it's a coming together of these guys and their aspirations. And I didn't realise until the end that they're actually playing themselves.
Right.
And the teacher, so DJ guy, the music guy, his partner, is also fighting the cause for the Irish language, but in a more the traditional, in the right way, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And it was just a very interesting. It was one of those days. I actually really enjoyed myself because it was an occasion where I had no idea what I was going to see, no idea at all. And I love that.
But you know, it's just the best, isn't it? Because
it is great.
You watch a trailer and everything's in the trailer. I guess I'll talk about Trap in a second, but like that's how I felt about that film. Whereas everything I thought was in the trailer, and I think it hurt my opinion of the film. Yeah, because I felt as if I was going into it already. Seen it. So the fact you go in totally blind.
I didn't. Yeah. I didn't even know anything about it. I hadn't seen a trailer. I didn't know what it was going to be about. In fact, the most I knew about it going in was it was an 18 because it came up. It was 18. I didn't even know it was going to be set in Ireland. Yeah. You know, I just picked something randomly, which I'm going to do more often because actually it made the whole thing quite exciting. Yeah.
You have more movies in your collection than I do, right? But I also struggle sometimes to just pick something to watch in my collection because there's so much there that I've not seen yet, right? Yeah. And I was actually watching a YouTube video yesterday it sounds silly, but someone talking about what they do to decide what to watch, what routines they have and what formats to watch things on, whether it's streaming or DVD or whatever. And I think it works the same with cinema. You know, it's like it's a lottery. You don't know what you're going into, and I'll purposely go to the toilet in the cinema during the trailers because I don't want to see them. Okay. Because I'm going to, I want to go in and see the majority of things anyway. Yeah. So I'll inevitably see the Marvel trailers, obviously, because they're everywhere. But the smaller films like Kneecap or anything like that.
I didn't even know. Didn't know it was coming at all. And I mean, there are films coming that I'm quite excited about. I mean, I'd quite like to go and see The Critic.
There's a new McAvoy film.
There's a new McAvoy, Looks good, yeah. And
who's in The Critic?
The Critic, Ian McKellen.
Is Fassbender? What's one Fassbender's in?
The one I saw today.
Oh, he's in that one?
Yeah.
Fassbender, all right.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
So I think his presence probably helped get it made, I suppose.
Yeah.
But,
see, I didn't even know what the film was. Yeah. So, hidden gem, you'd say?
Absolutely, yeah. I think there's a lot going for it, and nice moments. You know, that there's a smattering of characters who all have their day in the sun, if you like. You know, they aren't forgotten along the way. Yeah. So I just don't want to. I'd rather people. It's funny coming on this and saying I saw this film, I know, and I tell you all about it. But I've told you basically what happens, but what it's about is more than that. There's some of the characters have very varying issues and stuff that they're dealing with, and that's quite interesting too. Some of them are the pain of wanting revenge, wanting retribution, wanting, that's an age-old thing.
Yeah, there's always something in there, yeah.
There's some classic stuff in there, down to the effects of abandonment or whatever. And some of the more fantastical things in the film you come to realise are actually true. Yeah. So, wow. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool. Noted.
But I think if you go along thinking, this is a true story, actually it's going to spoil it. So I wish I hadn't said that, but try and forget that.
But still, it's still going to be an experience right, if you don't know much about it. Okay, cool. Well, on that note then, if I was going to talk to you about Blink Twice, I almost don't want to tell you too much because I didn't know too much going into it, and I really enjoyed it for that reason as well. So Blink Twice is the new Channing Tatum film, directed by Zoe Kravitz. So Channing Tatum is the lead in it. And he plays this entrepreneur guy that has been looked at as a celebrity, looked at on social media. Yeah. And just befriends these girls, as one lady in particular who he really connects with. And he has been, again, he's in a celebrity that has been cancelled. Right. A social media influencer that has been getting lots of bad press and decides to shut himself off from the world, take a break from social media. I have bought myself an island and I want you all to come to the island. We're going to have a good time. We're going to put our phones away. We're going to be alone. Big party for a couple of weeks, then we'll come back. Right. And everyone's like, that sounds, let's get us away from here. Right. They all go, and the rest of the film takes place on the island.
Okay.
I don't want to tell you too much more because I didn't know too much more. It was kind of had Jordan Peele vibes to it. It wasn't directed by Jordan Peele, but I got a lot of like Get Out and that sort of thing vibe from the film. There's also a trigger warning at the start of the film about some of the subject matter that they talk about, and I don't know if that, I don't know if because of that I was waiting for something to happen or waiting for this trigger warning to have merit or whatever, and it definitely does. Obviously, when after you see the film, but that I'd never seen that before, or at least recently anyway, where they're pre-warning you that some aspects of this film might be very uncomfortable for people to see. So again, if I definitely think it's worth going to see, because it's going to be, again, it's a hidden gem. It's one that I really enjoyed because I like those kind of suspenseful thrillers like that. Like Get Out is one of my favourite films of maybe the last 10 years or something, just because, again, I went in totally blind and was like, it was so creative of a film. And I got a lot of vibes from this one. So it's Blink Twice.
Blink Twice. It's not a sequel then?
Not a sequel.
There wasn't a Blink.
Or Blink 182.
Yeah.
But there's, Blink number 2.
That's maybe what it is in my head. I don't know. That's maybe
you
why.
Thought it was a documentary.
I thought Blink Twice was going to be a sequel.
No.
Okay.
But really worth watching if you can catch that. I don't think it's on very long though. It's one of those films that's got a limited run maybe. Yeah. Probably similar to Kneecap actually. For some reason the big films don't hold on to these films. Yeah. Because we need space for Deadpool and Wolverine. Damn it.
Yeah. Which I still haven't gone to see.
It's a lot of fun.
But I will.
It's a lot of fun, yeah. It is the Deadpool films I've liked, but I sometimes feel like they make jokes for the sake of it, for shock value. Oh, we're in a Marvel film and we've said the word shit and oh my god. So, and there's like sex jokes and stuff like that in a Marvel film, and you go, well, it's a little bit different nowadays, but when they first came out in the mid-2010s, that was kind of still being developed in the MCU. But this one in particular, maybe is the inclusion of Wolverine and Hugh Jackman and stuff, but it was my favourite one of all the Deadpool films.
Super. All right, good. All right.
Soundtrack was great and stuff, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. I'm glad you liked it, because that's encouraging. Yeah. But I want you to tell me, what's all this about Downey Jr. and returning to the Marvel universe and so on? Have you heard about this?
I've seen the reveal. And
is that actually real? That video? It's not a fan video.
No, that's absolutely happening.
And he's already shot that. Oh, they've animated it around him, whatever.
What do you mean? No, that was him at Comic Con.
Oh, right. Well, I saw a video the other day of him in some footage. Oh. But do you think that's some fan stuff?
That might be a fan stuff. But he did come out on stage at Comic Con in the costume, I guess, that he's going to be wearing a mask.
Oh, I didn't see that.
No, all right, that was the reveal of who is going to be playing Doctor Doom in the upcoming film.
Doctor Doom?
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know.
No, that's fine. So basically,
I haven't
read a Marvel guy.
I haven't read the comics. I don't know.
There's too many, I think.
What characters turn into what characters?
Well, I think the way they're working it is it's like this multiverse thing,
right?
Where depending on what moment in the journey that you watch the film at,
right? Yeah. I mean, I've seen them all, but yeah.
So Robert Downey Jr. was Tony Stark.
He's dead.
And that's he is dead.
As we say in Scotland.
Yeah, he's officially dead.
He's dead.
The character. Not Robert Downey Jr. is very much alive.
Yes.
But maybe not for long as he's playing Doctor Doom. But he's another Spider-Man villain, I guess. I think it's Spider-Man, called Doctor Doom for the comics. They're introducing different characters, and they were revealing at Comic-Con who was going to play this character. And out walks this man wearing a mask. And everyone was like, okay, this is the big reveal. Takes the mask off, and he's standing like Iron Man. And it's RDJ, it's Robert Downey Jr. And everyone's like losing their minds. And I was like, what do you mean? So the first thing I thought was, why are we not casting another actor? I was like, there's no as if he needs the money, right?
No, not at all.
He's already one of the most iconic Marvel characters ever, being Tony Stark. And he's also known, in my opinion, maybe it's just the way I grew up, but Robert Downey Jr. I think of as Tony Stark. He's one of those guys.
He's synonymous
with the character. But he's now playing a different character, and I guess they're gonna frame it as it's just another one of the characters in the multiverse.
Okay.
So this is it's the Marvel multiverse, but we're gonna have Robert Downey Jr. not playing Tony Stark. He's going to be playing this other character that's actually a villain.
Okay.
So it's going to be like implied that we know it's the same actor, but a different character. I wanted to mention as well, the other day I saw Pulp Fiction in the cinema, upscaled to 4K for the 30th anniversary. And I was wondering how you felt. We've touched about this before, but in terms of going to see older films, iconic films at the cinema for anniversaries. And I feel like I made a list when this became a thing. Where I don't know if it was like an after lockdown thing, we were trying to get more people back to the cinema, so we're going to play older films. I feel like I made a list in my head of like my dream movies that I'd like to see in a cinema environment, and I feel like the cinema gods have seen my list because we're going through them. I'm ticking almost all of them off the list. Right now, the one I want to happen in the cinema would be Interstellar. Not because I like the film, so much. I've only seen it once, and I watched it years ago when I wasn't that into film. So you can imagine it being a bit of a mind-boggling experience watching it. But now, wanting to watch it again, just being more of a admirer of maybe Nolan's films and stuff, I'd like to watch it again, maybe having a different opinion. But I just think I'm waiting for it in the cinema because that's an absolute ultimate cinema film. Inception would be another one, things like that. But like, when I made that list of films I wanted to see in the cinema, Back to the Future, seen it. Jaws, seen it. The Dark Knight, seen it. Star Wars has just been announced. So they're doing A New Hope onwards. I'm going to get to see Revenge of the Sith, which is a film that I saw when I was wee in the cinema. I'm going to see it again now in the cinema. I was thinking they're never going to do the Star Wars prequels in the cinema. They're doing like Star Wars season or something. You know what I mean? So going to get to see that. So they're all happening, and Pulp Fiction was on that list of films I wanted to see in the cinema, just because it was, a pretty iconic movie with that soundtrack and that script. And I remember the first time I watched Pulp Fiction, I just couldn't believe how kind of bold it was in terms of the conversations the characters were having, as an audience, we are trusted to listen to the characters in order to follow the story that way. There's films where everything's explained to you very openly and you watch it happen, but Pulp Fiction's, it's a character-based film.
Absolutely.
And I thought that'd be great for a cinema experience too, and it was fantastic watching it in the cinema because you get to see it on the big screen with everybody. People are laughing as if, like, in the funny moments, you forget how funny of a film it is. So I was just wondering if there's any films that you've ever really thought that would be great in a cinema experience. Maybe you've had it when they came out at the time, and you're thinking, I'd like to relive that.
At the time, I mean, the 4K thing, what difference does that make?
They said it was upscaled to 4K. I'm not great at that stuff anyway, noticing that much of a difference.
If you've already got the Blu-ray, then...
Yes, I don't have the 4K Blu-ray, but I know people have started collecting Blu-ray films, or 4K films in that edition. I've heard the older films that were filmed on film, like the old Hitchcock films and stuff, look brilliant 4K wise. All the colours are...
See, I'd be interested in that. I would go and see some of them. I would go and see... Well, I've seen a couple of them because I'm lucky enough. When I was doing my film classes at college,
well, there's that too.
And I could put them on there. Watch them.
Your own cinema.
Play the Blu-ray and watch it on the big screen, and that was fantastic. So we'd see Rear Window and
that's right. That's where I saw Rear Window for the first time.
And I'd quite like to see North by Northwest, perhaps. But for me, to go and see a film in the cinema now, I saw Goldfinger again recently. And it was kind of disappointing because it wasn't on a big screen. It was on a sort of medium-sized screen in the cinema. And I thought, it's a better experience watching it at home, frankly.
Right.
Or, I could do better myself.
Yes.
With a homemade projector.
Or you just talk the college into doing it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Or I could just go in when nobody's in and play it myself.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the thing about that particular film, like a lot of other films, is they're not in widescreen. They're not in Panavision or something like that. And for me, that's to watch an older film. It would probably be because it's in scope and it's got that sense of. I mean, I always found it when I was younger, and you had a thing on television called Pan and Scan. So all videos, when VHS and Betamax came out, they were all pan and scan. You didn't get them in letterbox. That didn't happen until you had to buy the special VHS widescreen versions.
There was Star Wars versions of that came out.
Right. And but it wasn't really till DVD, because DVDs were automatically in the original ratio, which was quite exciting, and because televisions were square, you know, and so for me, I remember the excitement of seeing films in widescreen and thinking, oh, you know, even pretty crap films, but you just saw them.
But still,
that the framing of them and all that, and that was always quite exciting. So I don't know. I would probably go and see. I've seen things like Some Like It Hot, and I've seen. What would I want to go and see? I don't know. I'm
just thinking if there's a particular cinema experience that you can remember, even when you were younger, that you were like, "Oh my god, I'd love to do that again." In the cinema, you know, and obviously the Pulp Fiction screening was mobbed.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it was like it was maybe a new film, but the issue is, we've talked about this before as well. Having other people at the cinema can be distracting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you want a crowd?
It, you know?
No, for me it'd be like, I don't know, going to see one of the Pink Panther movies or something like that again. You know, and just seeing if people laugh.
Right?
You know,
is this joke going to land? Yeah.
Will it land? Is it still funny? Is it still allowed? That's a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, probably not a lot of it.
I mean, there's some stuff in Pulp Fiction which came out in 1994 that you're going, wow.
Yeah, really.
You know what I mean?
Right,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Mind you, that was always a bit like that.
But it's Tarantino, isn't it? He likes to kind of push the boundaries, the weirdo that he is.
Always a bit like that. Yeah. I think things with scope. There's still a lot of classic films I would love to see, just because of the scale of them. I'd love to see. This sounds terribly wanky, but I'd love to see Les Enfants du Paradis.
Love that.
Which was a fantastic film, a French film, one of the greatest films ever made. I would like to see. There's another French film that Juliette Binoche is in that I've got the DVD of, but I'd love to see it in the pictures. It's pardon my French pronunciations, but it's Lovers on Bridge 9 or something, Les Amants de Pont-Neuf or something like that.
Yeah,
it's stuff like that. I'd love to see La Reine Margot. It's an incredibly lavish and brutal film. But I mean, on the other side of me, I'd love to see something like Tommy, or you know, some bizarre Ken Russell film, maybe.
The ones you have a little bit more of a sentimental connection to. You know what I mean? Like ones that you've
probably they
loved all your life.
They all are a bit. Yeah, I remember seeing when Coppola's Dracula came out, and I was in a show at the time. We all jumped in a car and drove to Edinburgh to see it at this art house cinema in Edinburgh. It was really nice cinema, actually. I can't remember the name of it. My wife would know, but I mean, we all went down to see Coppola's Dracula, and I just loved I mean, it's been derided ever since. Some of the performances, and it's a bit bizarre, the choices in it, but there was something about it that was terribly exciting. The score and the scope of the story and the backstory and and the attempt, at least, bizarre as it was. To do it, and doing a lot of in-camera tricks and so on and so forth. I was a mug for all that, really.
Things like that.
So that was an event, I remember.
They were showing the Bond films weekly, weren't they? They didn't do them all.
There was, yeah.
They didn't do them all.
They did. No, they didn't do.
They would have done a lot.
They just did the Connerys, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe they did
the Daniel Craig.
No, they just did the Connerys, as far as I remember.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I couldn't go to most of them. I saw Goldfinger, but I couldn't see most of them. But I would have done if I could have done. Yeah.
But, just something that I was thinking about, because there's older films that I've not seen and I've purposely waited to watch in case they're shown at the cinema.
Yeah.
And The Matrix was one of them. Never seen it, and then they showed it at the cinema, and I was like, let's go. And I don't know if I enjoyed it more because I saw it on the big screen or not, but it definitely was worth seeing on the big screen. A Clockwork Orange was another one.
It's got scale.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best ones was 2001: A Space Odyssey. I mean, there was an interval halfway through the film.
Well, now you're talking. Actually, I would love to see Barry Lyndon or.
I've never seen Barry Lyndon, and there's someone I watch on YouTube, and it's his absolute favourite movie, and I keep putting off watching it. I don't know if it's my cup of tea. That's totally judgy of me. I've not seen it, but just from what I've seen, stills and things like that, I'm like, it's not my cup of tea. But
no,
that's
not.
Silly to not.
It's a bizarre thing with.
It's Kubrick, isn't it?
It is. It's Kubrick, and it's. I don't know. I'm not going to go off on a Kubrick thing.
Yeah.
But I have got a Kubrick thing, but I wouldn't. 2001 isn't the one for me. But Dr. Strangelove, yes. But there's something about some of his films, the ones like Barry Lyndon and Eyes Wide Shut. Now, Eyes Wide Shut was sort of... it was... they tore into it, the critics, basically. And they had their reasons. There was something about that film, whenever I see it, whenever it comes on, I'm hooked. There's something mesmerising about that film. And I don't know what it is. I remember when I first saw it, I didn't see it in the cinema. So that's maybe one I'd like to see in the cinema. Because I saw it. It was one of the first DVDs I ever bought when I got a DVD player.
Yep.
And I remember I was in the house on my own. For some reason, the kids and Mandy were away. And I was like, oh, I've got this new DVD player. And these are my first DVDs. And I put Eyes Wide Shut in, just wanting to have a quick look to see what it'd be like. And I was in my anorak. I just got in from work or whatever. And I put it on. And I sat on the coffee table and watched the lot.
The full thing.
It's not a short film.
Yeah.
I didn't even go and get a cup of tea or anything. There was something about it is mesmerising to this day. And whenever it comes on, if it's on, I'm hooked. There's, JFK's like that for me.
It's another one I've not seen.
As a film.
Yeah. It's on my list. It's on my list.
Completely mesmerising. There's bits in that. You just, once you're in, you're hooked.
Yeah.
There's, what else? JFK, Amadeus. Amadeus. It's amazing. I mean, it's a great play.
Yeah.
I don't know which I prefer. I think I prefer the play. I don't know. But I love the content of it. It's amazing. So, and I think it's done quite well.
Yeah.
Milos Forman, I think it is, who did it. And superb story.
So ones like that,
so I'd watched that because that's got scale as well, and scope, and the sound will be amazing. And other ones can be quite disappointing. I mean, it's amazing. I once screened The Mission. I
was there, yeah.
You were there?
Yeah.
And it was bizarre. It was sort of quite a flat response from people who were watching it. So. And I remember everyone being terribly excited about it when it came out. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't bothered to... So it was after that I thought, I'm going to have to watch all these before I show them, because...
is it going to land as well? Yeah.
Is it going to land? Because my memory of it was completely different.
You did show us The Big Lebowski one week too.
Yeah,
which hit like mad though. That hit really well. American Beauty hit really well.
Surprisingly,
which I guess we can't really talk about these days.
That's one of the first ones. That, I didn't actually choose that one, but I thought it was a good shout.
And I mean, the Rear Window screening that we did was great, because I think a lot of us, like myself at the time, was the first time I'd seen it. And the moment in the film where, what's the neighbour's name? The guy they think they've killed, who's killed him. What's his name? Something.
God,
you know who
remember.
I mean?
Yeah. Raymond Burr played it. Yeah.
And he reads the thing, and then he looks up at the camera.
Absolutely.
The pop in the cinema, that's probably why you played it for that moment.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So there's moments that land in the cinema, and then maybe there's ones that you think are going to be an electric response,
Yeah. No, there is good ones. Pleasantville was another one.
Pleasantville, absolutely. And still the only time that I've ever really... No one talks about Pleasantville.
No.
Why not?
I know. Some lovely performances.
Sounds really good, yeah.
But yeah, and the one I was quite pleased about is I always used to show Cabinet of Dr. Caligari just to annoy everyone.
Yeah.
But the one I was pleased about that people seemed to enjoy watching was 400 Blows.
I wasn't there for that one.
Were you not?
No.
You missed that one.
It's always on my list of what to see.
So your education isn't complete.
Exactly.
That's it.
I'll have to watch it tonight.
You've missed the first Truffaut movie. Yeah. Oh my God.
Did we watch a documentary, Hitchcock Truffaut?
Yeah.
Did we watch that?
It's a fantastic film.
Yeah.
And book.
That's a documentary though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to remember ones that we watched.
Because Truffaut interviewed, in fact, just to cut a long story short, Hitchcock wasn't very highly regarded by a lot of people. I mean, he could barely get Psycho made.
Yeah. Well, that was the one that he wanted to make for years and kept getting turned down.
Yeah. And so he was always fighting the studios, and And his reputation wasn't that terribly great. I mean, for different reasons to now.
Yeah.
His reputation isn't great for other reasons, but at the time as a filmmaker. And it was Truffaut and Jean-Luc Godard and Alain Resnais, I want to say, but I don't know if that's right. But the people at the cinema magazine, what was it called?
Empire?
No. God, no. I've got them through there. Can't remember. But they were film critics. They wanted to be filmmakers, but they became film critics because at least they were in the right ballpark.
Yeah, exactly.
From what they wanted to achieve. And Quartier du Cinema or something like that. Not Quartier du Cinema. I can't remember. Sorry, guys. Old. And they were the ones that went, no, this guy's amazing. Yeah. This guy's brilliant. Look at this, look at that. And so Hitchcock felt almost compelled to, persuaded to, if he was going to be interviewed by anybody, he'd let Francois Truffaut do it. And Truffaut was, I think he knew every single frame that he'd ever shot, and knew his stuff. And they had an amazing conversation about both their work, really, and how one inspired the other. And it's an amazing, for anybody who's creative in any way, it's quite an interesting study, you know, to look at it. It's both quite inspiring and also warns you the potential danger,
So what year did that
obsession? Which one?
Hitchcock
Truffaut.
Yeah.
Less than 10 years ago.
Really?
I want to say about 2015, 2016.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Aye. And there's been a few films. The Mark Cousins has released quite a lot of good work.
Yeah. I did watch
one of Hitchcock. Yeah,
I did watch the film just Hitchcock. It's on Disney Plus now, and it's who plays him in the film.
Is it Anthony Hopkins one?
Anthony Hopkins one.
There's one with Toby Jones, which was
it's not Toby Jones.
Different sort of angle, but
it's all about him building up to make Psycho.
Oh hell yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. That one with Helen Mirren and
yes, that's a really good
Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson,
Janet Leigh. Yeah.
So I watched that one. It's funny when you watch a film like that. It's you're trying to watch it as a story, but you learn loads of things from the films too about the story and about the real life situation and stuff. Yeah. But so we saw Pulp Fiction in the cinema. It was a great experience because we were with a big group of people watching it, and it's as you say, it's one of those mesmerising films where you just can't stop listening to the conversations. What are these people talking about? But for some reason, you're glued to the conversation, and the conversation leads somewhere, and you're rewarded by listening to them.
Why is it such a good film? I mean, you've been saying that, you've just been talking about it, but it is that thing about how does it engage us, because we're not being spoon-fed story.
Exactly.
It's not even in the right order.
No, it's not at all. And I think that's what makes it so interesting, though.
No, absolutely. Absolutely,
There's just wee moments where, they're following Sam Jackson and John Travolta, right? They're the kind of iconic moment from that scene, I guess, or from that film. The image of those two with the guns and stuff. But there's one moment I've always thought was interesting where the camera's following them in the hallway of the hotel. And it's framed like any other film. You're seeing the two actors perform and stuff. And they stop at the door of the room they're about to go in to confront these people. But they decide it's not quite time yet. They need to stop.
Too early.
2 minutes early, we need to go and have another conversation. And they just walk past the camera. And it's the first time where it's like the camera's acknowledged that it's there, and the camera's just, we better turn around and we haven't finished the chat yet. And it's like a real moment.
So it forces the movement.
It forces the movement of the camera. Okay. And John Travolta on the big screen, it's almost like he comes into your room because it's that close. And it's just always thought that moment was really interesting because then the camera has to follow them. Because it's almost like the camera is ready to burst into this room, but no, we're going to wait for the characters to be ready. And that was really interesting to see that. The soundtrack is incredible. I was watching it with someone who had never seen it before. Iona's twin sister, she had never seen it before, so that was really interesting. She said she enjoyed it, but she was just a bit tired, she said. So I was like, well, at least you came and see it at the cinema. And we took Iona's dad as well, and he was like, this is why I want to go to the cinema more. You know what I mean? To see films like this. So it was really good. It was really worth seeing.
It was superbly made, and the narrative being chopped up and played around with, that makes the film. But what I particularly like about it is the fact that if you described Pulp Fiction, basically, if you described that opening scene, what happens in the opening scene, and if you wrote two guys are driving to a building where there's a bunch of guys in a room and they're going to kill them, and you go, oh, all right,
okay. yeah. But for some reason,
it's all that,
and you can't watch some of the scene. You have to watch the full scene.
Yeah, in another scene, there's a hold up in a cafe.
Yeah,
it's just
brilliant.
It's just so
and
mundane.
in another scene, Bruce Willis is a boxer and kills his opponent and goes on the run. And you go, all right, it's the same movie.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
So, and then there's a monologue about a watch.
Yeah,
you
from
you
Christopher
just go,
Walken of all
sorry,
people.
Come on, this isn't going.
But arguably the best scene
is
the weird chemistry between John Travolta and Uma Thurman when he takes her out on the date that's not a date, but will they, won't they? He can't because it's his boss's wife, but then she takes his drugs and it looks like she's going to die. It's
brilliant,
brilliant film. So that was great to see that in cinema. And I also wanted to say as well, I saw The Sixth Sense for the first time ever.
Did you go?
Yeah, at the cinema.
You mentioned that last time, yeah.
And my God, I really, really enjoyed it because I'd never seen it before. But if no one wants to know any spoilers about the plot twist in The Sixth Sense, fast forward a couple of minutes of the episode. However, I, for the life of me, for the longest time, thought that the big plot twist was when the kid says that they see dead people. I thought that was the twist.
That's the sub one.
I didn't realise the twist is...
No,
he's no there.
But that, in a way, but what's brilliant about that is that's the reveal.
Yeah, but you don't
basically, but you don't know that he's telling you.
Yeah,
that I can see you.
Yeah. But I feel like I figured it out as I was watching it, even though I didn't know. Mm-hmm. But I managed to figure it out, and then it is revealed at the end, and I was like, oh, that's the big.
I haven't seen it since I saw it at the cinema. Spooky movie.
Really good though.
Yeah.
Really good film.
But that's another one I'd have to watch it before I put it on. I mean, I was even getting vibes like that when I said to you to watch Talented Mr. Ripley. I thought, God,
yes.
What is it any good still? These things. So you need to do that. I think revisiting some of them, rather than it being a sad old man's task, it would be good to do. But there's so many that I've not seen. I'm just looking through. I mean, I realise actually, I bought the Robert Rodriguez movies, the Once Upon a Time in Mexico and El Mariachi and things like that, and I've not even watched them yet. So that's stupid. I need to see to that.
This one, that's the one I was talking about.
That's the one you were talking about.
That's one right there, the Hitchcock one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really good. All right, so I wonder what the next... I'll tell you what the next classic film or older film we're going to see, and it'll be A New Hope or Revenge of the Sith, or whichever one comes first.
I'd do them.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good experience at the cinema, though, with the sound and stuff. Mm-hmm. And the amazing special effects.
They have come out. I mean, I've seen A New Hope a few times, but God knows how many different things have been added to it since. So
A New Hope actually isn't that bad for that stuff. It's the other ones that are full of new stuff. Return of the Jedi is a different film.
Yeah, aye.
Some of the stuff,
yeah.
So, But it was my birthday last week, right? And I got as a gift to go see A New Hope with the orchestra at the Royal Concert Hall.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to do one of those for ages. I saw someone do it recently for Back to the Future. One of my friends went to see Empire like that. Someone saw Jurassic Park like that. It just sounds like a great idea.
I saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
With an orchestra?
Yeah.
Nice. How was it?
It was great. It was really good.
And it's obviously it's a really silly question. No such thing as a silly question. Does the live band, live orchestra really make a difference? Is it worth...
well, it sounds differently. It's sonically very different. Yeah. And you do spend a lot of your time watching the musicians, but that's okay, because I guess you go to a film like that. When you go to that, you're not watching the film for the first time. Well, at least you shouldn't.
You don't think so? Yeah.
But it's wonderful. All of these things should be live. I mean, I love the fact that you're hearing the. Yeah, anybody who's never been to an orchestra, it would be a good start.
Yes,
because that's something to do.
We should talk about a couple of other new films before we wrap up. Okay. So, did you see Trap, by any chance?
I haven't. What did you think?
I really liked it.
Don't give anything away, because I do want to go and see that.
I really liked it, didn't love it. Right. There's a lot in the trailer, as I said.
I thought I was surprised when I saw the trailer. I thought that someone would make a film like that, given the number of things that have happened in recent years.
Yeah, I think that's a good. I've not thought of that before.
And I thought, oh, really? Are we going to get away with doing a film like creating a piece of thriller entertainment when the subject matter's about something like that? That's very sensitive, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not usually like that at all.
No.
You know me. It's kind of, you know. But that did cross my mind. I thought, you know, that whole idea of doing it at a gig or a concert. Yeah, I thought, oh.
I think they released it at a good time because there's this craze with as I go back to Taylor Swift, but she just did this big tour. I didn't even go to the tour, but she did this big tour, and it really took over every city that she was in, and it became a big. Yeah. Like I felt as if I hadn't experienced like a celebrity taking over a city like that ever really in my lifetime, because I didn't live through the Beatles and Elvis and things like that, but where it was just crazy. But it felt like that here for a select audience. And a lot of the film is that it's Josh Hartnett. He takes his daughter to this gig, and it's not Taylor Swift, but it's like the daughter portrays it as her hero and all this sort of thing. So
absolutely,
they probably brought that out around the good time where people probably have been to see a big concert like that.
It's been a positive experience, and
you know, it's relatable in some way. But it's a really original idea. I loved the concept. I loved the story. But yeah, no, definitely worth seeing.
Good.
And he was really good, Josh Hartnett. He was really good. All right, so we'll chat about It Ends With Us then, because this is a film that, again, I totally had no idea about. And I went to see it with Iona, and she had, as you can probably imagine, knew everything about it going in, about the film itself, but also this apparent drama that's surrounding it. And
I know nothing about that.
She had to try and break it down to me after I saw the film. And I'm glad she did it after the film, because I didn't want to go in with any preconceived opinions. But yeah.
Well, I think my take on the film, for what it's worth, is Mandy had read the book.
Right.
And realised she'd read the book, you know, pretty soon we were going. We'd already booked the tickets.
You meant like 3/4 into the film.
No.
She's like, hang on.
I've read this.
Yeah.
And she told me a few things about it afterwards, about the story. And it sort of confirmed what my feelings about it at the time were. It seemed like a film. I thought it was okay. I thought it was. I wasn't. I mean, Mandy thought, "Oh God, look at him sitting there at this chick flick," and I was like, "Well, no, actually, no. It's fine. I'll go and watch anything." You know? And I enjoyed it enough, but I did feel it was one of those films that was made by committee, in the same way that a camel is a horse designed by committee. You know, or a giraffe. That's what you get when you leave a committee to design a horse, you know.
Right.
And it felt like there was too many people sort of dipping their oar in to say this, and this about it. Oh, change that, change this. Now, I don't know anything about it. That was just my reaction to it. And then Mandy subsequently told me she didn't know anything about it either, but she was saying that the book was far more hard-hitting.
Yes.
Than anything anywhere. The film didn't go near anything.
This is what I've heard as well. Yeah.
And so I think that's a shame if it's going to talk about those subjects. You know, I mean, I didn't miss them in the sense that I just thought, yeah, it's fair enough. It's nothing to write home about, and I didn't hate it. I won't remember it. You know, it was okay.
But you're thinking maybe you should have remembered it if they kind of focused in on more of the subjects?
There was a lot of, purely from a cinematic point of view, a storytelling point of view, there was a lot of missed opportunities in terms of twisting it and having the audience on the edge of your seat. I didn't ever feel I was on the edge of my seat. So it wasn't even close to some of those films you used to get, like Fatal Attraction or whatever, where you were kind of like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
What's going to happen?
There was none of that. And I don't know if that was the intention. Certainly, I don't even know if that's the intention of the book, but certainly, Mandy, the impression she gave me was, you know, some of these, like when she gets pushed down the stairs and there's a big fight and stuff like that, and she's saying it's much more violent and scary. But
it's just the way they did that, where he pushed her down the stairs, but it cut to black though, and you don't know that he's pushed her down the stairs until 20 minutes later.
Yeah,
and I was like, surely
it's just choices. They were obviously trying to just make it ambiguous. Did he or didn't he?
Yeah.
And that's the choice they made. Whereas I believe in the book there's no ambiguity as to
this is what I mean,
what he's trying to do. So,
and like some moments in films where they reveal the story later on and they show you the scene again from a different perspective. Yeah. It was like that, and it's almost like a gotcha moment.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was tonally the right thing to do.
I don't know either, because there's the whole... After the child's born, there's the whole...
Spoiler.
Is it a spoiler, right? Or maybe it is. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
But the reconciliation of sorts that happens in the film at the end, you just... If it was more hard-hitting, that would surely have been harder to get to. And I don't know how the book achieves it, but I've no doubts that the book is quite skillful, because it's a very successful book.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I believe the writer was on set. That's the only other thing I know. So the writer would have had a chance to voice an opinion or two. So, but I don't know the ins and outs of that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that kind of thing doesn't matter. I think that's what ruins art, in a way, as you get criticism by committee as well. And it's kind of like, by all means, give a critique on a thing, but it doesn't. Does it need a personal attack if that's what it's reducing to? No, it's just somebody doing some work, and if you didn't like it, then missed opportunity, read the book, or something like that, but I believe there's been quite a lot of vitriol, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to really speak on it in case it's totally wrong, but I believe that's the thing that's been happening, where there's been rumours spread and the story has grown arms and legs, and it's become a thing on TikTok, just the backstory, not the film itself. And
so it's along the lines of that other film that Olivia Wilde directed, isn't it? There was that stuff with, what's his name, Captain Kirk. And Florence Pugh.
Yeah, Don't Worry, Darling. Yeah, it was a bit like that.
So much
Harry
stuff
Styles.
with that. And the film's enjoyable enough. They don't want to know the biography of the film.
Yes.
Well, just leave me with the film.
Don't Worry, Darling. That's right. That was on the other day, and I was like, remember this?
Do we need the baggage?
Yeah, okay. I don't know if the baggage was important to be raised because the baggage exists, but I'm like, did the baggage be blown out of proportions to the point where now it's overshadowing the film itself?
And is the baggage being used to sell the film?
Yeah, that's another
because
question.
these I mean, it takes longer to market a film now than it does to make the thing.
Yeah.
It seems to me, you're shooting for less weeks and months than you are going on tour promoting it.
Absolutely. And what do we need that for? But I'm saying that's a big story that is overshadowing the film, which I actually thought was pretty good. I thought the film was good. I enjoyed it, and went in not knowing any of the baggage, not knowing any of the drama.
Yeah.
And then Iona filled me in after. I thought the film was good. I watched it and enjoyed it and thought the performances were good.
I feel very holy that I don't know any of this.
Yeah.
And that
it's being revealed to you.
I'm not going to look into it. Really, it's like, because in a way it's look at me going, but I'm cleansing my aura. But no, I don't know if you need to know that kind of thing. It's just people making films, and they're getting paid a lot of money to do it.
A lot of money.
And you can choose just to ignore it.
And I guess people are getting annoyed because the book is so hard hit, and it makes me want to read the book actually to see what's missing. I think there's a lot of things missing, but the film was made to, I don't know if I had a message or wanted to say something, or raise awareness for domestic abuse and things like this. And then people were getting annoyed because it was being promoted as a bit of a chick flick.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's actually a really serious film.
I didn't think it was a chick. It's not a chick.
But that's Blake Lively's going about going, get your girlfriends and go to have a night together.
I tell you, I think you know what I think. One of the things I heard was being criticised. My students were telling me that the wardrobe was being criticised and things like that, and I just thought, that's all right though. I actually quite liked it.
Yeah.
And if there's a reason I shouldn't have liked it, then I wasn't aware of the reason.
Yeah.
But it'll be a reason that somebody knows that no one else does.
That it's none of your business either. You know what I mean?
But I thought it was quite quirky. And the other thing I thought they did quite well in that film was some of the scenes. I thought that they call them cute meets, where characters meet, or the scenes where they would be on a date or something like that. I thought that was handled really, really well. I thought some of the the interaction, the way the actors were working or whatever, I thought the result was really good because it did draw you in. You did get that. You found it there, coming across one another, discovering one another, quite charming. And you know, if I had been responsible for producing the spark maybe in some of those scenes, I'd be quite happy with that.
Quite proud of that. There are, you know, love story, rom-com kind of cliches in there, but they're done really well, I think, where it's not a roll your eyes one. It's actually, the chemistry's there, I think.
And there was the usual, the you would call them the rom-com characters, the best pals, all that. I thought they were done very well. Yeah. They really handled quite well.
And funny too, there was a lot of nice moments there too, funny comedic moments to give you a break from some of the cheesy one-liners, and then of course, as you say, they take real intense subject matter, and it's almost like they have an opportunity here to really go a direction that's going to make this a very memorable film and say something and have a message and stuff, and almost like they didn't really totally commit. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, because you just don't, I mean, and in many ways the role I didn't understand most was the one of the chap in the restaurant. Yeah. I just thought, felt sorry for the actor a little bit. I just thought, this is, I don't know if you'd react that way.
That soon?
The pair of them, the reaction to each other. I just thought, I didn't, there was bits of it I just didn't, I don't know. But I mean, again, the book probably does it quite well. Yeah.
I felt like a lot happened in the 2 hour span. I felt like I watched a lot. Like a series worth of stuff, because they're maybe trying to hit certain points, and we need to have this character come in to do this, and have this character come in to say something. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because I did enjoy the film, and after it I was like, wow, I really feel like I saw something, but it was maybe a bit much at times too. But yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I'm not saying I'm in any hurry to rewatch it or go back to it, but I am actually interested to read the book to see kind of what the story actually was and what they maybe missed out and stuff like that. So that's what I thought anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is my very in-depth review that I wrote. Heard there was unconfirmed drama with this film, but didn't know anything going in. Thought it was good. Felt like I witnessed so much in 2 hours, which is a good thing, I think. Thought it was quite good. That's what I wrote. So, listen, it's the only high quality reviews you're going to get on here. So yeah. We'll take that. What did I
write? And I think there was a pair of shoes in there that I kind of liked. And I tell you what, I didn't like some of the flowers. I thought the shop was enchanting, but some of the flowers they were selling, I wouldn't buy.
And how did you get the money for this shop?
I know.
Just saying.
But parents were loaded.
That's true, yeah. Would you own a flower shop?
I love flowers.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, I named my band after them.
Oh, true, yeah.
So I actually do like flowers. Yeah. I like roses particularly.
I was going to say, what's your favourite flower?
Sunflowers, roses. So I like having flowers. If I feel flush and I'm in Morrison's and I'm of a mind, I like to have. Yeah, I like just looking at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just make me sneeze.
I do. I didn't when I was younger. It's just something I discovered. I just thought, I like flowers. I really, really like flowers. I love colour and
the colours. Yeah,
and I suppose it's since Manny's been painting, I've sort of been second hand enjoying her appreciation of colour, and she's been we've been taking the odd photograph and things much more than we used to. I used to do photography in the old days with film and things, and. So it's been quite interesting, sort of going, I wonder if she'll like this, and I'll take a photo and stuff like that. And that's been nice.
Mandy's been doing loads of painting over the summer.
Lots and lots.
Do you ever have a say in the inspiration behind what she paints?
No.
Or is it all her?
No, and I wouldn't dream of. She's got a very.
You need to get her back on. She's not been on ages.
Particular eye for things. Well, she needs to go and watch some stuff.
That's true.
The only thing she watches is the Portrait Artist of the Year.
On Sky
you think
Arts or something.
You think I'm joking?
I don't 100% believe you.
That's it.
Nice.
No, but that's been good. I can't get her on the landscape. She's not too cool about that. But no, I wouldn't dream of it. And I mean, she wouldn't tell me musically what to do either, but
Right.
we're very supportive of each other in that way. And it's interesting because I could listen to her talking about what she's doing, and I have no choice.
Yes.
I have to listen to her talking.
And the same goes for her, though. She needs to hear you talk about
yeah,
films
well,
and
sometimes she just says, well, you just get a friend, because I'm not interested in hearing about Ableton. And
Right.
your EQ and your compression. I just however, look, I'm thinking about doing this in this colour.
Yeah. Sounds good. Or looks good.
But it is good. It is good.
Yeah.
It's not difficult to appreciate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I bet she likes to tell a story, and that's something that's consistent throughout all the work she does. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you got anything else planned in terms of going to see some things? You're going to maybe catch Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah,
maybe catch
Deadpool and Wolverine
Blink
just for
Twice?
fun. I'd like to see that one, the bomb one, the bomb one,
Trap, yes.
and also Twister. So
Oh yes, what do you think of Twisters? We've talked about it before. What do you
Again,
think?
yeah, I thought it was kind of. I liked it better than the original one. It's not a remake, but you know what I mean. So I found that quite. But again, yeah, it was some of the. No, I liked it. Yeah,
I thought it was good too.
Yeah.
I saw it 4DX.
Yeah, that I don't think I'd have enjoyed.
Absolutely crazy. And you know the craziest part about it was I don't even think I mentioned it on the podcast when we talked about it. I took my mum and dad, right, who had never been to a 4DX film before, and I thought this would be a perfect one for 4DX for the maybe avid 4DX goer, because it was wild, right? I don't know why we went to see a film that is all about tornadoes when the chair was going to move, but as we were going in, right?
Yeah.
My mum was quite scared. She's like, we go to these, if we go to a theme park or something on holiday, I'm quite bad on there. I was like, it's not that bad.
It's like going on the waltzers.
I said, your mum, you'll be fine. And as we were going in, there was this older lady, significantly older lady. I don't know what age she was. She looked like she's in her 70s, right? Old lady.
Was she going in or coming out?
She was going in to our screening.
Because you don't know, she might have been coming out, and she might have been 30 when she went in.
His age on the way out. She was going into our screen, walking stick in hand, right?
Right.
So I said to Mum, I was like, look, she's obviously been to 4DX before, or she's about to get her socks blown off, or she's going to really enjoy this. But if she can do it, you can handle it no ball. And she's like, you're right, it's not going to be that bad. Look at the state of this wee woman. So we go in, and the film is mental with the chair, right? And the weather. They must have just cranked everything up
right from the beginning,
because it's wind, but then they also rain on you inside. But the wind makes the rain go crazy. So it was a great experience for me as someone that knew what to expect. My mum was screaming, but there's one moment where Glenn Powell's character and is it Daisy Edgar Jones, they're just having a conversation, and it would be a time where the chairs aren't moving, maybe. One of the rare times the chairs aren't moving in the film, and this old lady decides to go to the toilet. Right? Because the chairs aren't moving. It makes total sense. You have never seen a lady walk so slowly to get out of the cinema just because of her age or whatever. She stood up from the chair, walked. She was really high, like far up in the cinema, had to walk down all the stairs and go out. And by the time she had stood up from the seat, left the cinema, went to the toilet and come back, I'm not kidding, 17 minutes have gone by, and by the time she's back, the scene that she's walking back in is the next tornado scene.
Oh no!
And the chairs are going mental, and even people who aren't sitting in it, like it's not as if they just go, oh yeah, chairs C, 4, 5 and 6 are going to move. All the chairs move, even if there's no one sitting there. Right.
So
she's coming back in, trying to
got
climb up to her seat, and the chairs are flying out. And for that whole scene, I didn't watch the screen.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Because I'm absolutely panicking that this woman's about to fly to the ground. Yeah. And the worst part is the person that she was with, whether it's her son, didn't even go and help her. He just sat there, continued like this the whole time. I was so close to getting up and helping her. If the chairs weren't going as mad,
well, yeah,
I would have gone up and helped.
Have you got a seatbelt or something in those things?
No, you don't.
Jeez.
But I can just imagine she was probably quite headstrong. She was probably like, I remember I'm going to do this.
Our friend Gregor, he went to see it. He went, I think it was a Star Wars or something, and he was put his back out.
4DX. It was probably the Phantom Menace.
He's going a bit like that. Oh, I've got
the Phantom Menace with the pod race. Oh god, that would have been a good one.
I've yet to do that.
What, the 4DX?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You got a bad heart though.
Well, this is it. Yeah, I need to get fit.
Need you to be careful with those. But Twisters was a good one, man. Good experience. But yeah, we're going to need to wrap up there because my memory card and that camera's full.
Okay,
so that's time to end the podcast.
Bye, folks.
Bye, everybody.
Fine. Enjoy cinema going.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening to this episode. Take care of yourselves. Where are we? We're on the socials at The Good Bit Pod. And also, you can buy us a coffee now. Digital coffee, if you'd like to donate to the show to help the show. You can help support by buying us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/thegoodbitpod, and it's a way to support the show.
Wonderful.
There you go. Take care, everybody.
Well, you clearly need memory cards, so that would be good.
Please save the show by buying us a new memory card, for the love of God. Take care, everyone.
Bye.